So I'm going to start by addressing the elephant in the room. I'm sure that when you look at me, you see something different about me that makes me stand out from other people. I get asked about this everywhere I go all the time, so I will curb your curiosity and answer your question. I was born with an amazing head of hair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's completely natural. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually adopted at birth. My biological parents were like, "This product is defective. What's your return policy?" I have a receipt. It's all right, I was adopted by loving parents. And they actually live right here in Chehalis. And for most of my life, I had no idea what my nationality was. I thought that I was just a run-of-the-mill white chick. But I just recently did that heritage DNA test, and I found out that I'm 2% Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So you might say that's not that much, it's only 2%. But you know how when you read the labels on ingredients for food, and it'll say 2% or less of some sort of spice or flavoring? Well, the 2% Puerto Rican flavoring definitely comes out. It showed up very early in life. When I was 2 years old, my dad was holding my little brother, and I wanted his attention, and he wasn't giving me attention. So I took my 200-pound wheelchair that was electronic that he had handmade, and I rammed him on the couch. He moved to get out of the way, and I broke my leg. Yeah, watch out for the Puerto Ricans. And then I went off to kindergarten, and they probably assumed, oh, we're going to be educating this precious little girl in a wheelchair who is missing arms and legs. I'm sure she won't cause any trouble. Well, the first day of kindergarten, it was right here in Chehalis. I went to Cascade Elementary right here. And I went out to recess, and I had 6 speeds on my wheelchair. And my dad, the first day of kindergarten, specifically said, you cannot turn it up to speed 6. You will hurt the kids with it, so you've got to keep it no higher than speed 4. So I was doing my best to listen to that, but then the kids started running and playing tag, and I wanted to play too. So I turned it up, and this little boy came up to me and he's like, "Can that thing go faster?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Turn it up as fast as it can go." I'm like, "Okay, I just won't tell anyone." And I turn it up to speed 6. And I start cruising along on the playground, and there's gravel. The gravel's still there. But, so I'm like bumping along like this, you know, and the kids start thinking this is really cool, and I get this combo line of kids behind me, just screaming, and the line keeps getting bigger and bigger, and I'm looking behind me like, wow, I'm so cool. And all of a sudden, I feel my chair go boom, boom, and I didn't know what it was, so I backed up, and it was like, boom, boom. And I looked down, and there's a little boy laying on the ground.
What?
I had ran over his whole entire body twice to make double sure he was not alive. Strangely, he was very resilient, and he was okay. But when the dude lifted up his shirt, he had tire skid marks on his ribcage. It doesn't stop there. This is not necessarily the most diverse place in the world, and his family had just moved here from Korea. He did not know any English. It was his first day in American schools. Welcome to America. So, I've lived an interesting life. I've always wanted to be adventurous and push the line. That's probably that 2% flavoring coming out. I can't live just an ordinary vanilla life. It's not in my blood. So one of the opportunities that I got in life, well, first of all, I come from a very supportive family, and I started voice lessons when I was 6 years old. So I took singing lessons from age 6 to 18, and she also taught me storytelling and music writing and how to read music and all of that. And then I went to Pacific Lutheran University and I studied psychology and vocal performance there. And then I went through a lot of shit in my 20s, like a lot of people do. I was living on my own and had to figure out how to take care of myself. I had no idea how to eat properly, so I ended up malnourished in the hospital 2 times. And after the second time, I pretty much was knocking on death's door, and I was like, I gotta figure out how to do life. I've got to figure out how to be a whole person, which is kind of ironic. So I started, on the path of wellness, and that became very important to me. And I really got my life together. I did a lot of different jobs in my 20s. Everything from being a DJ on the radio to working at a medical office to working as a career counselor. I got my master's degree in counseling. And in 2011, I got laid off, which I thought was like the worst thing in the world that could ever happen. But I started my motivational speaking business at that time. I had already been speaking for a decade at that point. But one of the greatest opportunities that came out of that is I actually got to participate in the Miss Wheelchair America pageant in 2014, and I won the title of Miss Wheelchair America. Yeah! Thank you. So I took my 2% Puerto Rican self out into the world and told my story. And one of the favorite things that I got to do that year was I got to participate in adaptive sports. And I never knew that they existed. I had never considered myself an athlete. But in that year and the years preceding it, I've gotten to surf, adaptive surf, downhill ski. I joined a couple adaptive dance groups. I skateboard, and sailing, and all different kinds of adventurous things. And I also recently went to Sweden and Poland. I was I was the USA representative for the Miss Wheelchair World pageant. And thank you. And that took me to Sweden and Chile. And so I've traveled the world and really lived an adventurous life. And I have never gotten injured in all those things. I have been pummeled by the waves of the sea with the surfboard right above me. I have careened down the sides of mountains going probably 40 miles an hour. I have teetered on the edge of my wheelchair with adaptive dancing. And yet my greatest injuries in life have come. One was when I was about to go and graduate from high school. My sister was curling my hair, and she set the curling iron down, and one of my friends knocked on the door, and I hopped to go answer the door, and I sat on this hot curling iron. And if I didn't tell you, my mom is a doctor. She actually practices right here, Dr. Jeannie Adams. And thank God that she is, because I would have spent my high school graduation in the ER, but she bandaged up my leg, and I made it to my graduation. So I had a 3rd-degree burn, and when she had to change the dressing and everything, you would think that I was being killed. I screamed so loud. And so that injury was actually pretty serious, and it was really painful. And then recently, I was brushing my teeth, and I leaned into the sink to rinse my toothbrush off, and I lost my balance and fell and gashed my inner thigh open. And yet again, my mom was there, thank God. She wrapped it up. She didn't have any bandages, so she used tape and one of my light day pads. So my inner thigh was menstruating for a few days. And so my most extreme injuries have been beauty related. So even with the way that I live my life adventurously, I do beauty extreme too. So it is the holidays. Time, it is the season to be jolly, right? Depending on how much Prozac you're on. But one of the things that I thought was kind of funny, you guys probably noticed on social media, the article that went viral that Baby It's Cold Outside is a rapist song. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a singer, and I took the liberty of rewriting that song to be a relevant Christmas carol for 2018. So I'm going to do both the guy and the girl part, okay? I really can't stay. I won't stand in your way. I've got to go away. You're empowered to make that decision yourself. Your welcome has been so very nice. That's okay, 'cause we're equals. I really must go. You're empowered to make that decision. The answer is no. Well, no means no. So get out in the damn cold snow. And you're an empowered woman, so take your own taxi home. Baby, it's cold outside. Bye. Thank you. I'm single. They can't handle this, you know? They just can't. But it's okay, I love being by myself. It's so empowering to be by myself. I love sleep. Oh, who in here loves sleep? Especially this time of year with being so dark. And I don't want anybody taking my sleep away from me. And when you get into a relationship, you lose sleep. So other people might feel sorry for themselves when they're by themselves, but they might be like, all by myself, don't wanna be all by myself. So sad. And I'm like, all by myself. I love to be all by myself. Woohoo! Woohoo! All right, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for being here tonight.